What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk about how I kind of broke out of modern conservatism. I kind of got into it at the start of high school. I was new to the area. I recently moved and I was kind of lonely looking for some friends. And COVID happened, right? And that's when I really started getting into the rabbit hole of everything. But it all started when um, Star Wars, actually. Star Wars, especially with the sequel trilogy, and there was a bunch of videos starting with the feminist agenda and how it's like being inserted into these movies in order to promote a woke narrative, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that. And I was young at the time, I was young, foolish, and I thought that, you know, just going into these rabbit holes like saltier than crate, fucking critical drinker. Oh god. I fucking hated that movie channel. And it's like a bunch of outright kind of things like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder. I never got into Andrew Tate because I thought he was way too exaggerated for my liking. I thought his persona was way too um, over the top and way too macho for my take. And I think like the point where I started to kind of turn against this conservative ideology was when COVID happened, and like the Trump administration was just really fucking up how they were handling like COVID procedures, how they were not enforcing lockdowns, how they were like just basically haphazardly like, it's okay, COVID's not an issue. And that's what kind of got me started to get the ball rolling to get me out of that, right? On top of that, if you're familiar with Steven Crowder, which I'm for sure hope to God you're not, hope you guys stay away from that rabbit hole. um, Steven Crowder is basically like an alt-right commentator, and just very hateful, very like, if there's one thing that the alt-right and the conservative movement does not stand for, is compassion. And I'm not saying like the left is like more compassionate or anything like that either, right? I mean, I don't think for all the answers that the left tries to give, the right just takes like the easy answers and says like, hey man, here's the easy way out, like here's why, you should you know women are bad, right? Like it's okay for you to cheat more than like a woman or something like that, like um you know and I think because the outright provides such like easier answers, not exactly better answers, right? Not exactly ones that like focus inward and has us express it outward. It leads to like a higher propensity for young, and I'm not justifying it at all. I kind of, when I look back at these like outright conservative movements and I see why it's so easy for young men to fall into such rabbit holes like these, is because they provide such easy answers. And it's usually not fresh and fit, fucking what else? Can't really think of any other manosphere podcasts in my head, but that's like the one of them. That's the one that's kind of out there, right? Um, and having such like a hateful ideology, it's not gonna have you. Um, it's just not gonna benefit you in the long run. There's like this movie. It's called American History X, and I know it's just the movie, but one of the questions that helps to start Edward Norton's neo-Nazi character to a path of like not exactly redemption, but like, changing for the better, is, has anything in your life made you feel better about anything you're doing? And he's pretty much a piece of shit in that movie before he starts changing. And because that, he starts to look inward, right? And starts to like change. He's like wants to change for his family. And yeah, like that's all I wanted to say is like, these outright and conservative movements are just so built on hate. And the fact I'm Indian, right? Like you know, if you're a minority and you're um if you're gravitating towards those like outright conservative movements, I just think that there's a better there's a better there's a better outlook than looking to like, you know, any minority creator that's like peddling these ideologies, right? The reason why those minorities are so successful, like with outright ideologies, right? The reason why they grip so much with that is because white people can look towards them and say, hey, they're saying what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't sound as racist when they say it because you know what, they're black, they're Indian or whatever, right? Um, and so yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this. I think it's a very it starts it's a very radical movement. It's a very um how should I say? Yeah, it can lead down to a deep dark rabbit hole if you don't like um uh if you don't like check yourself and kind of like put it up against like a real worldview, you know? And because, you know, sometimes it comes out of a place of struggling with women, sometimes it comes out of a place of like um, just feeling like society hasn't, you know, provided you, like while they attack the patriarchy and say that, hey, men are the problem, that they don't look at you and try to like um, assert that, you know what, if we can try and start with you, then we can help to solve this problem. No, we just like want to throw them to the wayside. Um, and male loneliness, it is very much an issue, and it's something that it should be talked about. But I don't, until we can like get through to this conversation, until we can like further delve into that conversation, um, I believe that if we're going, I believe, sorry, um, the outright until like they're gonna keep giving these easy answers for these young men to follow, and it's unfortunate. I hope like I truly don't hope this. I hope for this on like any young man because it's just a place of hate. It's just a place of just outright misery, and a lot of these conservative commentators are just either grifters or man children that just can't seem to accept that, you know what, there's more nuance in the world, rather than just like, um, you know but yeah, if anything, I hate the alt-right for what it is. I hate the conservative movement for what it is, because I was almost sucked into it. That's all about it. See ya.